So Gary, you starred in nearly 90 adverts for Walker's Crisps already. You have to have your favourites that you shot.
Oh, I've got a lot of favourites really. I've been lucky, I've worked with a lot of great people, a lot of famous people, whether it be footballers or pop stars, actors, all sorts of chefs. You name it. It's funny, I was at the Pride of Britain Awards recently and looking around the room, pretty much everyone had been in a Walker's commercial with me. So, but if I had to pick a favourite, it's still the Gaza one, you know, where they put the contraption over his ears, under his eyes, and it spurted out like he was crying. And every time it did it, we just couldn't do it for cracking up. It was so funny. So
that's one of the early ones, isn't it?
That is, it was right, very early actually. It's probably in the first 5 or 6, yeah.
Do you ever get the chance to input your own ideas into the adverts?
I tend to leave the creative stuff to other people, but it's been 17 years. I've had the odd say, but we're blessed with people who have been very imaginative in the writing and taught up with good little scripts, and also in the fact that the guy who directs them, called Paul Wayland, who even directed the first one way back when, has got a brilliant comedic touch. He's directed some big movies as well. So I mean, he just gets the whole thing, and he can just, even if it's sometimes you think I'm not sure about that, he'll just add a little comedy twist at the end, usually at my expense, but it's worked.
In the most recent advert, which is about the 3 simple things that go into making Walker's Crisps, you heroically dive to save a crisp from its doom. Apparently you did your own stunts, is that right?
I did. As a superhero, I think one should do one's own stunts, even though in previous commercials I may not always have done. But I was brave. I was fully prepared to dive onto a mattress and try and catch a crisp. Catching the crisp is not an easy thing. You should try this. Try it at home. You float even from there to there. It's not easy as you're diving.
I'm going to have to give that a go. But yeah,
and these cameras are so tight and big and slow motion that it had to be perfect. Had to land in the perfect. Let's have a few goes.
So is that the only job where you've been allowed to dive?
Yeah, probably. I was never a goalie, so.
Great. So today is actually National Walk and Shop Day, which you might not have heard of, but independent retailers up and down the country are encouraging people to walk into their local stores.
As opposed to what, drive?
Yes. Yeah, so it saves them money, and it's just a bit of energy out really, so they're actually walking to the local stores. But apart from pushing Lionel Richie through convenience store windows, what is your recollection of and your interaction with independent retailers on your high street?
Well, my dad was an independent retailer, funnily enough. I mean, he worked in a market stall for 3 generations of the Lineker family did that business, selling fruit. But I remember what he also had a corner shop selling fruit as well at one stage when I was a little bit older. So I know exactly what that's like, and to be part of growing up and the hours and hard work that involves. So yeah, on that sense, I've got a bit of historical background, but also where we live now in Barnes, we've got some really nice little local shops that we do frequent. So and we can walk to even on days when it's not National Walk to the Shop Day. So that's good.
So since your No More Mr. Nice Guy days, Walkers have reformulated in that time healthier sunseed oils and have recently further reductions in terms of salt on the crisp. But in that time, has your favourites always remained the same? And what is your favourite flavour?
My favourite flavour is definitely salt and vinegar. Always has been. I'm a loyal old soldier.
Well, Gary, thank you so much for taking the time to do an interview for some of our retailer followers and pub landlords. At the end of the day, I still think you're Mr. Nice Guy.
Well, that's good. You won't mind me taking those then, will you?
Oh.
Cheers, thanks.
Oh, thanks, Gary. Bye.